Now, it's been a roller coaster year for Zeeshan Hamid. After losing his mayoral bid in 2022, the former Milton City Councillor made a stunning political comeback in 2024, clinching a decisive win in the Milton provincial by-election. Well, Jason Agnew spoke with Hamid to reflect on his remarkable year and to discuss what's next as he looks ahead to the challenges and opportunities of 2025.
It was a spectacular year, so many changes. I didn't even know I was going to come back into politics, and next thing you know, I was all in. But no, it's been a great year. We already had a few great announcements from Milton. Two-way all-day GO train service. We'll talk about that in the 2025 section. A lot of work is getting done there. We announced that our long-term care home in Milton. That also was very, very exciting. Infrastructure investments, other stuff's coming up. So there's a lot of good things happening for Milton and for Ontario.
So 2025, obviously it is a bit of a tumultuous year, just looking at, well, North America, maybe the world, but let's focus on Ontario. And I mean, we do have Premier Doug Ford hinting that there could be an early election, might be called as early as next week, actually. Considering you were just elected in May, what does this mean for you?
Hey, so as far as elections concerned, I mean, I know exactly what you know, Jason. So both, whatever happens, happens. But no, nothing. I actually enjoy going out and talking to people. I do that throughout the year as well. I did it all of 2024, so nothing really changes for me. I continue doing the work, continue having conversations, and people choose who they choose.
All right, well, let's look ahead to 2025. You know, you are fresh into this office, but seeing as what you have in the past 6 months or so, what are your priorities for 2025?
Look, as far as Milton is concerned, 2025 is actually an interesting year because it's hard to set priorities right now. We don't really know what's going to happen with tariffs. We don't know how far, United States will go with trade war and all the other stuff happening. So it's impossible to predict where we're going to go. But in a normal year, my priority for Milton would be, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of work has gotten done for two-way all-day GO train service as one of my big goals for Milton. And continuing that process forward. Last week, a couple of weeks ago, Premier Ford wrote a letter to Metrolinx directing them to negotiate with CP and CN to create a different bypass for freight trains, which is a proposal that was on the table for a long time, and the government was picking it up, and it was our government that actually is going to implement it. So that's really exciting. There are other needs in Milton. So Milton doesn't have a drive test facility. That's one other thing I'm working on. This is general Ontario-wide things that impact Milton as well. So, healthcare, education, infrastructure, transit. So there's a lot of work getting done, and I want to make sure that we continue getting it done in 2025 and beyond.
All right, Z, here's the big question that I ask all of our MPs and MPPs. You personally, I mean, you talked about all of those issues right there, from housing to transit and all of that. Those are all big issues. They're not going to be solved, shall we say, within this calendar year. But is there one thing in particular that you would like by the end of the year to put the check mark on and say, hey, it's done, signed, sealed, delivered, this project complete?
I love doing that. In fact, actually, if you go back to my history as a counselor, I would often put it on Facebook saying, here are my goals for the year. Unfortunately, Jason, this is not the year to do that because a week from now, or was it exactly a week from now, things might change completely and we have no idea what world we're living in. Canadian businesses might be facing a 25% tariff or even 20%, even 15%. That might require a massive, tens of billions of dollar response from the government. So it's really impossible to predict. The funny thing is that I'm a parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Finance and had a conversation with him just the other day about the upcoming budget. And we're not just us, all governments in Canada and other countries as well. We're actually creating multiple options to just understand different scenarios. So we're ready. Our powder's dry. We're ready to go no matter what scenario we face. We have a plan in place. So this is not the year to make predictions. Maybe 3 or 4 months from now we can talk about that.